elite spot. Yeah.
Pat, New Zealand have obviously had some injury issues and have lost Devon. You, by contrast, seemingly same 11 as expected?
Yeah, same 11. Yeah, we've had a good run. So same 11 as the Gabba, no surprises, and yeah, it's always nice to have a full contingent to pick from.
Is it nice to have that, I suppose, calmness in the system where you lost a test against the West Indies at home, which obviously doesn't happen very often, but there was no kind of, I guess, panic or, throwing the deck chairs around kind of response to that?
Yeah, I feel in a really good position. Last couple of years have obviously been quite successful with these guys, and also the other guys that are travelling with us. Nessa, Scotty, Renners have all had a bit of exposure as well. So we feel like even if we didn't, if anything happened, we're pretty well placed to bring one of those guys in. But yeah, it's a real calmness around the group. Everyone's played enough Test cricket. So yeah, it doesn't feel like we ever need to reinvent the wheel.
By just playing Test cricket in New Zealand, just the Prime Minister of the country says he's been quoting you in meetings with the minister. Just like, what is the reaction to that? He told you the other day, and just like I said, playing Test cricket.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I haven't played Test cricket here before. I've been on one or two white ball tours, but I love it. Obviously, outside of just the actual cricket, it feels quite similar to home. People have been amazing here so far on the trip, especially around the golf courses, been very friendly, getting us tee time. So, we love playing here. We know a lot of the Kiwi players really well as well. There's a few friendships there. So, yeah, pretty keen to get some Test cricket started.
And like I said, just with the Prime Minister, did you know you've been quoted in meetings? This country's being run on what you've been saying in the app?
No, I didn't until he mentioned it. Yeah, that's cool. Against another one of those reminders of, just how cool our job is and how lucky we are. It's funny, it seems like business people and politicians quote sports people, and us sports people tend to look at business people and politicians more than probably other sports people.
What do you make of the pitch? Because it looks pretty green, and it's fair to say on first remains a live option at this stage.
I haven't had a look today. Of course, it's a live option. I think, coming from Australia, it's rare to turn on the TV and see a green wicket that looks like the turf here, but over here it's pretty normal. But I don't think it's as scary as perhaps what it looks. Seems like there's been plenty of first innings scores that have been big. I think the range of first innings scores goes from 120 to 580 or something like that. So we'll have a look tomorrow. Make up our mind there, because at the moment, we'll see how we go.
So, can I also ask what your reaction was to Wellington retiring? Because I think a lot of us are shocked. Did you guys know beforehand? And if you were in the same room, seeing what was Steve Smith's reaction?
I haven't actually asked Smithy about it. Surprised. Obviously he was part of the squad, so I thought he was in line to play. Whether he was in the final 11 or not, we obviously weren't too sure. I know it was kind of a little bit of short ball work in the nets from all of us, knowing that's his normal go-to. So, shift a few of our plans. But he's been a wonderful competitor whenever we've played him over the years. I think as a fellow fast bowler who isn't necessarily a seam up, try and swing and get an outside edge bowler, seeing the way he's created problems for batters in a non-traditional kind of way, I've really admired from afar. And just a wonderful competitor. I know how hard it is to run in, throw everything into it for 50, 60 overs a game like he has in the past at different times. So, huge admiration for him and wish him all the best. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it actually. With Marshy and Wadey taking up the reins, I felt like I could just be a player. So I think on the field, just worrying about your own skills solely, especially in a format I haven't played a lot for a while, was good. And then I think as well away from the ground as well, just things like media here or some of the team meetings that you have around planning, they do add up. Not that they're necessarily taxing by themselves, but they do add up. So just having that space outside of the game was nice for a couple of weeks. But in the same breath, it's good to be back here and in a different role.
We've seen Jamal and Shamar Joseph as some newcomers to Test cricket have some success against you guys earlier this summer. Have you done much of a look at a Royal or a Stockwood line, given you haven't seen a lot of international level?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a look. I think the batters will get together at some stage, or today I'm guessing. But yeah, everyone does their own planning, and those guys haven't played a lot. Even a couple of the opposition batters we haven't played a lot of against, and some of them are just starting out their Test careers. So yeah, it's always a sense of trying to get your head around a little bit of what they do, and then obviously once we're out there, try and adapt on the fly.
You each staff and Josh would have been several summer. You guys are used to short turnarounds, but this is particularly short. 3 days, one travel day. Even that's here couldn't bowl because of the short run. How have you guys gone getting your lines up for a red ball game coming out of the white ball and break?
To be honest, I haven't bowled too much. Deliberately coming off a pretty big summer and a pretty big year. It feels like there's been kind of enough overs in our body that we don't need to try and find some at the end. So for us, we're in a lucky position. You don't really have to worry about injury prevention this far out. It's just getting your skills right and getting your body kind of that balance between being fresh and ready for this game. So we all feel really well placed. It's 2 Test matches, but obviously having a bit of a lighter last 3 or 4 weeks has helped. So everyone's in a really good spot.
And what's easier for you transition to go on red ball to T20 or the other way around skills wise?
I'd probably say from white ball to red ball. It doesn't feel like too much changes. I think from red ball to white, you've got to try and hit some Yorkers, some slower balls, probably a bit more up tempo as well. So that can be sometimes a bit of a shift.
You've had a great Test record against New Zealand over the past few years. I guess what is it playing against the Kiwis that brings the best out of you guys?
Hard to know really. Obviously the conditions here in Australia are quite similar. The team sets up pretty much the same. So I think a lot of it's quite familiar to us. We don't need to try and chase anything or play any differently. Outside of that, I'm not too sure.
And how much of the weather is impacting your planning? Potentially good rain a couple of days. Does that impact your planning for the game?
Not really. It's 3 or 4 days away seems too far to try and plan for. It's played plenty of games where the forecast changes. So, you turn up tomorrow, kind of have a look at the weather, have a look at the wicket, and make up your idea on the toss, and that's about it.
You mentioned the stuff about just being, I guess, back in the ranks for the T20 series. Like, is it not just a mental refresh, but gives you, I suppose, a little bit of an insight as to, whenever the day comes that you do sort of come back in captaincy reins and keep playing beyond that?
Potentially. Obviously, Wadey and Marshy are both really good mates, so I'm there if they need me to. They want to lean or bounce an idea off me or whatever. But it's don't know. It was more of a mental refresh probably than anything else. Yeah.
All good?
Just one, you have the 2 tests of having both in March and Cameroon in this side. And just using them, is that a bit of a challenge? Suddenly you're spoiled for options, plus you start to move.
It's a good challenge. Both top quality bowlers that you feel like can make an impact, and I think it's a luxury certainly. I think someone like a Marshy with the swinging balls, obviously that's probably his strength, and then Greeny can kind of bowl in any kind of role. It's a bit of a luxury. It feels like we've got heaps of resources to call on. So.
Just as an extension there, do you think Mitch was more likely to bowl here than say he didn't bowl at all and take 3 minutes with the gap when it was really hot? You more likely to bowl in these conditions?
Potentially. I think at times use Mitchy kind of front end of the game when it is swinging a little bit more. There might be some seam in the wicket, and then Greeny can play a bit more of that enforcer role at the end. So I can't remember the Gabba, but
Really hot.
yeah, it was really hot. I'm surprised he didn't bowl him. That's what. But yeah, they both. It feels like we've got 90 overs we need to bowl today each day, and we've got probably 120 we can call them. So we feel lucky.
Yeah, just one on, Steve had some comments about like the times when, pace bowlers have done that, very like leg side short ball attack, not just to him but to others in other conditions like the Lord's Test last year, and him saying that, maybe that needs to be looked at from the perspective of like if a left half spinner's bowling over the wicket and they get widened a bit more kind of liberally by the umpire to warn them against being negative. Like, do you see scope for that as something that can be done around the short bowl?
Honestly, I haven't thought that deeply about it at all. I do know there are some rules. The keeper has to stay on the offside. So I think we've done it in the past where the keeper starts a little bit leg side and you get widened straight away. So I know there are some rules, but yeah, I haven't really thought about it. Sorry.
You know about it?
No, exactly. Yeah, we haven't seen Dan this tour. He's been hanging out with Black Caps. Yeah, always got good insights. He's played a lot here. Again, nothing, I guess, groundbreaking about this venue, but it's always good to hear the insights. He's played a lot here. Windy days, not windy days, different wickets. So, yeah, again, nothing probably groundbreaking, but just I think that win factor can be real here and just some of the ideas on how to get through that.